Hello, I'm Sunny, and today I'm going to talk about the topic is as manual for sperm whale, plastic debris. When we mention about debris in this topic, will simply means human-made trash that end up in the ocean. So let's start from the introduction, the global threat of marine debris. Now we think of this as a modern problem, but actually it has been a documented issue since early 20th centuries. And now we are entered to what scientists call the plastic age. Plastic are now the most common and long-lasting change to the Earth's surface. It doesn't just cause a huge mess, it will cause a biological disaster. Currently, over 250 marine species are affected through entanglement or ingestion. So what happens when animal eats debris? First is physical damage. It will cause cutting, bleeding inside their body, and also their stomach will be broke by the plastic. Then they are feeling full, but they are actually starving, so they are getting to weakness and leading to death. The most important part is it will affect the whole population because they are getting to weakness to have babies, and they also cannot run away from the danger. So it means in the future, only few animals will survive in the future. Let's talk about large marine mammals and debris. First is knowledge gap. We already know a lot about pinnipeds, like seals and sea lions who got stuck in the trash, but we didn't know enough about large cetaceans, like large whale, who affects by eating plastic. So let's look at the sperm whale for an example. They are deep divers, they dive very deep in the Mediterranean Ocean, but they are also facing lots of problems that's caused by humans, and the plastic is a big one. Our case is for published case in the world that the sperm whale death is directly linking to a plastic injection. So the purpose of this study is that get into a 3 points. First, we want to look closer to the plastic injection. We want to see how exactly eating plastic will lead to the death of this sperm whale. Then by identifying the type of plastic, we can link them to the human industry. The most important part is to identify the danger zone. We want to see where the whale habitat is and where the pollution meets. And let's get into material and method. First is necropsy. The easy way to say is a body exam. So we will do this on the sperm whale that we found on a beach in the southern Spain. And then we will detail sorting all of the trash that we found in the stomach that is larger than 4 square centimeters, then group them by weight, material, and color. By this, we can tracing them to their industry. Then, to find out their habitat identification, our team used 17 years survey data with sails over 74,000 kilometers in the Mediterranean, and we saw 55 whales. And our goal is to use the distribution model to identify their key habitats. So what we found inside the body was totally shock. We found almost 18 kilograms of plastic in his stomach, and the surface area was for total is reached to 38 square meter, including the 5 square meter greenhouse cover. And the photo over there is a greenhouse, and greenhouse cover is just like the top of the plastic. So we also find 59 plastic items and 722 Cephaloba beaks. And Cephaloba is like a squid, and the beak is the hard part in it that the whale couldn't digest. So from this we can see the whale's eating history. We know that he was trying really hard to eat and hunting before the plastic broke his stomach. Then is physical condition. This 10-meter male was extremely thin. It had the empty intestine, and its first stomach was burst due to a large mass of plastic. So we know how the plastic affects it. Then let's look at the figure. The x-axis is represent the longitude, the y-axis is represent the relative abundance of the whales. So they have two peaks over there. If we look to the left with the -z longitude, this place represents the Strait of Gibraltar, and another peak over there between -2 and -3. This place represents the water south of Almeria. So in this figure, the x-axis is represent the seabed depth. The y-axis is represent the relative probability of presence. So we can see between 500 and 2,000 meters, this price curve is getting high, so we can show that the sperm whale is preferred to stay over deep ocean canyons. But the sadly thing is some of our human trash also end up in this area. And in this figure, the x-axis is represent the density to 200-meter line. The y-axis is represent the group size. As we can see, as it gets closer to zero, the curve is getting high. So it means the larger group tend to be found in the shallow water that's close to a 200-meter depth. So this is important because this area is close to the human activity, so it has lots of trash. So from this figure, we can find out that probably they were fighting and eating plastic debris together. In this map, the black shape over there is represent the greenhouse industry. In Almeria, about 26,000 hectares of crops will grow under plastic cover. We can see the photo here. And this area, colorful area, the blue area is represent the low density of whales. The orange area is represent the high density of whales. So we can see the whales really live together, live just beside the greenhouse industry. And also we found surprisingly that about 55% of whales we see in Almeria were also found in Strait of Gibraltar. So we can suggest that belong to the same population. So it means the debris injection doesn't just affect the whales in Almeria, it affects the whole group. So the source is very obvious. Let's look at the greenhouse industry. The things that we found like greenhouse cover, the plastic burlaps, and the house plant are all we can just link into the human industry, greenhouse industry nearby. So why did the whale eat them? We believe it's a prey mistake. In the dark, deep ocean, the floating plastic sheets will look very similar like a squid, their natural prey. So when they're hungry and they're eating, they probably just swallow them down. And then is why does those plastic will blow into the sea? Because in Almeria, the strong coastal wind is very often. So they'll probably just bring the non-recyclable plastic directly into the sea. And we have to know that it's a hidden danger. We found this whale in the sea, and most of them probably just die in the sea and sinking to the bottom. So it means the actual impact will be much higher than we think. That's its conclusion. First is important feeding area. The sperm whale in the Mediterranean are mostly found in the Strait of Gibraltar and the water south of Almeria. Then is farming debris injection. From the stomach check, we found out almost 18 kilograms of plastic inside its stomach, and over 8 kilograms of trash were clearly found to be in greenhouse cover. And the most important part is deadly overlap. The whale primary feeding area is directly meets with the heavy coastal greenhouse industry. So from this, we have to know that it's better for us to change our way to manage those farming plastic. And that's all for today. Thank you very much.